the dragon talks to himself at the beginning of our show. He says he has never done anything that would make someone want to kill him that he can think of. Why did they tie him up that way? He talked to them sometimes. As he breaks free from those chains, he looks like he is very strong. I hope this isn't an unsuitable end for the sacred ancient dragon, who has lived since the dawn of time, he adds. But maybe it's okay for one to meet their end like this in the world. After that, the dragon runs away and dies right away. He comes back to life as a child, though, and his parents name him Dolan. They were happy when he was born, but they didn't know he had lived before. After about 17 years, we see Dolan again. He's grown a lot. A girl named Eri walks up to him and finds him thinking. But he tells her not to worry about anything. He then gets his bag and leaves. Varen is a small town on the northern edge of the kingdom of Arkrist. The scene moves to this town. Dolan talks to us and says that he was born here as a person after dying as a dragon. He then gets up, washes his face, and goes to work in the fields, which is the only job people here have. He works hard in the fields almost every day to make money. He leaves after breakfast. In this town, you have to live on your own after you turn 15 to be an adult. Finally, he moved out by himself when he was 16 years old. During his fishing trip, he talks to his friend. He tells his friend that he will check out a big pond tomorrow because he hasn't seen any snakes there in over a month. This needs to be fixed. His friend tells him, "Don't go, there's no reason for you to. Don't risk your life." They suggest that the people whose job it is to protect the swamp should do this. "Don't worry about me," Brother Dolan says. The village is being watched over by the captain and others. "I'm going to check it out on my own, I'll be fine." After that, he goes catch a big fish and comes back at noon with a box full of fish. He meets a girl named Marita afterward. She tells him to rest and get ready for the next day because he caught something good. He's had a lot of rest lately, she tells him. They also got the village chief and some other people to let him look into the swamp, which he thanks. She says, "That's our duty. Another thing you did that helped us a lot was train us." Dolan tells Albert that he is afraid about them, but Albert tells him not to worry and to focus on the investigation the next day. Dolan then goes home. While making the fish for lunch, Dolan talks to himself. He says that because there are so many monsters and thieves near Varen, there aren't enough soldiers to protect it like there are in the city. Everyone in the town needs to do their part to stay safe. Soon after, Eri walks by and tells him through the window that today is magic training day. She starts to train as he walks up to her. He hits the target straight on with his energy arrow spell. His magic really works. The old witch and Eri are happy together. The witch tells him how much he has grown and gives her credit by saying that she taught him so hard. He wants to thank her for the help and say that he couldn't have done it without her. When it gets dark, Dolan sees a pretty girl and seems interested in her. She tells the village leader that her name is Christina and that she plans to stay in the village for a while. The elder tells Dolan, "Listen, Dolan. The girl is a young noble woman. Treat her nicely and be good." Everyone shakes hands after Christina says her name. After that, Christina and the elder leave. It looks like she's very good at what she does. Dolan thinks about how cold it is in the winter and how hot it is in the summer. The last thing Dolan does is go home to his family. He can meet his brother Marco there. Dolan thinks his mom's food is the best, and he eats dinner with her every night. When his dad talks about getting married, he says that a wife would help him with things like cleaning, cooking, and just being married in general. Dolan's dad told him to marry a woman who could cook like his mom. Dolan said that his brother had said the same thing, but he didn't want to get married just yet. His brother Mako then asked if they were going to the swamp the next day. Dolan said that they would. Lizards lived in this swamp. When their mother heard, she was scared because it was so far away and the road was rough. She was told that Dolan would not do anything risky and would only look at the swamp from afar. He told him he had the choice now that he was an adult. He came back safely though, so they wouldn't have to worry. He thanked him and told them not to worry. He was sure he would have a great story to tell them when he got back. Dolan left the next day with men who wanted to stay with him to make sure nothing bad happened while he was by himself. An old woman stopped him and told him not to worry. But she also warned him to be careful because she thought something bad was going on. She put a spell on him to keep him safe. While he was there, he could eat Eri's food. The lizards used to hang out with the people of Varen in the swamp, but one day they were nowhere to be found. Dolan got to the swamp. They had no other choice but to let Dolan look into what had happened. He touched the water and knew why the lizards could no longer live in the swamp. The earth elements were too strong. while the water elements had become weak. It felt like something was close all of a sudden, so Dolan got ready. He knew that only a strong animal could now live in the swamp. A girl who was half human and half snake showed up at that very moment and said her name was Sarah. Dolan realized she was the girl everyone had been talking about when she made fun of him for going to the swamp by himself. Selene thought about what to do with Dolan while he stood his ground. To scare him, she did some strange things. She told him she wasn't there to fight after that. She was scared when all of a sudden a huge monster showed up. After Dolan saved her, they hid behind a big rock. She asked Dolan what that big thing was, but he told her to be quiet. It was finally over, and Dolan told them it was a crazy earth spirit. There used to be lizards in the area, but one day there were none left. There was a big earthquake that he had heard about, which he thought might have caused the elementals to go crazy. Dolan then asked Selene about her magic because he had heard that all animals in Lememia could use it. They should fight together, Dolan said, after Selene said she could. Dolan begged Selene to give it a shot, but Selene wasn't sure because she thought she might not be able to fight something from Earth. She finally gave up and prepared to use the special Lamia curse magic. She thought that following him from behind would work on the monster, so Dolan told her to do that. They got ready for war even though they had only met. Selene cursed the thing because Dolan told her to. Selena says out loud, "Oh snake inside me, come out and curse my enemy." A very big snake comes up from the ground and tries to grab onto the monster. When the monster strikes back, Dolan moves quickly to block its blows. "Dragon magic has made my sword stronger," he adds. It then gets hit, which kills it by cutting it in half. She is very pleased with Dolan's progress. "I'm covered in mud," she tells him. He quickly thanks her for her help. "As you can see, I'm a Lamia," Selena says when they talk about who they are. She says, "You must be cold," and Dolan tells her to clean up and dry her clothes. The scene changes to Dolan cooking in a cave. "Are you not scared of me at all?" Selena asks. He says, "No, you don't look like any of the Lamia creatures I know. They are meaner and more wary of people. It looks like there are no Lamia towns close. Why are you around here?" Selena points out, "There is a rule that when a Lamia turns 17, she has to leave to find a husband. I'm on a trip to find a partner because of that rule. The Lamia race only has women, so we can only have children. When we do have boys, they are always the same race as our husband. When a woman from Earth was cursed, she had a Lamia. That sickness has been passed on. Our bodies contain poison because we are partly snakes, so we need a mate whose body is strong and doesn't get hurt easily by poison." "I see," replies Dolan. "You must have a harder time finding a partner than people of other races. This is how my mother met my father," she says next. "He was a person, just like you, and they get along great." Then she asks Dolan, "Are you being rude to me?" "No, I was just thinking that you're a very cute Lamia," she answers. "Don't stress over it." He gives her food and says, "I'm not as good at cooking as my mom, but I think it tastes great." Selena is shocked when she eats it and says, "It's delicious, it has a wonderful, rich smell." He's pleased and says, "I'm glad you like it. My mom taught me how to make it. On cold winter nights, we'd all eat around the pot." Selena adds, "When you talk about your family, you smile softly. You really love them." "Yes," Dolan thinks to himself, because the lonely dragon is gone now. She then hears him say, "I love my family a lot." After that, Dolan tells Selena goodbye and says, "I'm sure you'll find a great partner. I've heard that Lamias like life force." All of a sudden, Dolan sends out an electric spark that hits Selena and knocks her down. To say sorry, he says, "I didn't mean to scare you. I'm now going back to my village. Bring your husband to our village when your trip is over. I'll show you around my family." When asked, Selena says, "I'm going south to keep looking for a partner." She tells Dolan, "May the path you walk be blessed," and he wishes her well. The show for today is finally over. Coming soon, more shows. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to make sure you never miss a new episode. Two guys are on a trip at the beginning of the show when they meet Selena. For some reason, she seems very brave to go on her own trip. She tells them that she is strong enough to stay safe. When the guys see Selena's back, they are scared to death. They leave right away. They don't listen when that person tries to stop them and run away. The scene then changes to show Miral, their teacher, with Dolan and Eri. She tells them that magical potions are different from standard medicines because they are made with magically charged objects. They need more care when getting ready because of this. Eri and Dolan are casting magic while she talks. The witch doctor also warns them that if things go badly, even a small mistake in the magic or measures could put the potion maker's life in danger. Then we see Dolan mess up making his medicine, and Miral tells him he's still not good at it. Yuri tells him not to be upset because he has a good eye for plants that can help people. She tells him to offer to help watch the kids. Alan thanks her for her help and says he will work on following difficult recipes better, even though it's hard for him. Miral then compliments Yuri on how much better she is at making potions today. Yuri can play with her outside. Yuri gladly agrees and says she'll go help her mom. After that, she leaves. No one else can be heard but Dolan. He says he isn't qualified for this job because he wasn't needed when he was a dragon and potions weren't needed. Miral then tells him that his magic for fighting is very good, but it looks like he won't be able to quickly learn how to make potions. But she tells him not to rush because everything takes time, but she thinks he needs to work on his skills. She tells him that she can teach him how to use his failed poison to make a fix. Dolan eats with his friends and thanks them for the food in the next scene. Anyone who was there thanks Miral for feeding them and having them over. After that, Dolan is in a hurry to get to training on time, but on the way he sees Miyu. He is asked to have a drink with her. At first, Dolan says no, but Miyu keeps pushing him and gives him milk. Dolan says yes, takes a drink, thanks her, and then walks away. Dolan then shows up at the practice field and says sorry for being late to Albert. While Albert is taking a break, the kids are excited to show Dolan how good they are with spears. He tells the kids to take it easy. All of a sudden, Dolan feels a dragon in the trees. At night, we see Dolan in the bush because he kept having the feeling that there was a monster nearby. He walks on until all of a sudden Selena shows up in front of him. He thinks she's not supposed to be there, so he asks her. As they sit down together, Dolan says he's sorry for scaring her. He asks, "Why are you here?" He thought she had left to find a husband in the south. Selena tells him she was going to, but it's hard for her to talk to people. They stayed away from her because they were afraid of her. Dolan tells her he will do anything to help her and is glad to see her again. He tells her that if she stays with them forever, he will help her. Everyone is scared of her, so she asks how. Dolan says that a lot of people in their town live with monsters and other living things that aren't humans. People may be afraid of her at first, but they'll get used to her, and having her around will make their lives better. Selena says yes right away when he asks her to marry him. She also tells him that she was looking for him because she wanted to feel his life energy again. Dolan nods his head, extends his hand, and gives Selena a boost. The next morning, they show up with Marita and the guards. They find the body of a big monster and see that there were fight marks on the ground. She says it looks like a big snake's mark. He tells the lamia that it is a strong and dangerous animal, but he doesn't know what it was trying to do or why it left its food behind. He tells them they need to work together right away to find the lamia as they walk in. His friend tells him to calm down because the lamia is already very dangerous. It would be smarter to ask for more help from the city, since there aren't many soldiers in the town. After the scene changes, Dolan is alone and thinking to himself, "I had no idea there was such a big difference between people and monsters, but they'll get it when they meet Selena, who has a good heart." At the same time, we see an old witch telling everyone to be careful and take their time. Selena has been giving them gifts, so how could she be bad? She adds, "Just wait a little longer, and we'll know everything." And then Eri walks in and tells her grandmother that what she had said was true. When the grandmother sees them, she knows it's going to happen again. She tells them to wait and see what happens next. What is being said is heard by Dolan, who is thrilled that the plan is going so well. He quickly moves on to the last part of the plan, which is the next step. When he gets to Selena, he tells her that the locals aren't as scared as they used to be, and that the extermination team doesn't seem like a big threat. The plan to give gifts went so well that he told her, "Well done, Selena, we just need to finish a few last things on the plan, and it will work perfectly. Listen carefully and do exactly what I say." The boss of the people in the area tells them, "The lamia is still close by. We need to learn how to keep this town safe since we are in charge of it. Just like we planned, we will train outside. You kids should be extra careful not to go too far. We need to be very careful and do everything we can to stay safe." He tells himself, yes, they are careful and alert, but we need these people for the last part of our plan. The Guardian G is the strongest group in the town next door. Their boss, the huge Balan, and his assistant, Marita, work well together and are very effective. Next is Letitia, a nun. She not only heals hurt people, but she also talks to everyone in the town. She could tell everyone at any time that Selena is dangerous and tell them to kill her. The scene changes to Selena, who is scared and hiding in the woods. Dolan told her the night before, Tomorrow's training will take place near the rabbit lances. I need your help to run to your den. Come out and save me when I tell you to. After seeing you do that, no one will think badly of you. We hear the town's boss talking about how to lead the team when we go back to the present. A man runs in and yells that the monster has finally shown up. What's this? Dolan asks himself this question with surprise. I haven't told Selena what to do yet. Is there another weirdo? The shaking man tells them that what they see is not a lamia but an armed bear. At that moment, the big bear shows up and starts to break trees as it moves. It's very big and taller than everything else. Everyone is scared. The boss tells them not to fight because the bear could kill them all with one blow. Right then, Balan's son Taro trips and falls in front of the big bear. The bear looks down at the kid, but Dolan and Selena run right at it. It was meant for the child, but Selena takes the blow and sends the bear back into the forest through her eye. Everyone is shocked by how strong she is because she has so much control over the big thing. She checks on Dolan and Taro to make sure they are safe. Balan, her angry boss, tells her to stay away from them right then. Dolan goes up to the boss and says, Selena just helped me and my son. How could she mean harm now? They are told by the boss that Selena is still dangerous and that it is his job to keep the town safe. What made them so mean to her after being so nice to her? Dolan won't move. The boss then asks Selena a question and learns that she is the one who has been leaving food for the town. She begs them to let her stay as she tells them she has lost her family and no one to help her. She only wants to spend a short time with them before leaving. Selena starts to cry and says she will never hurt anyone. Because she is honest, everyone feels bad for her, and they start to get it. They know she's not bad like the other Lilias. Right then, Selena passes out from not having enough blood. She wakes up in a beautiful hotel after being asleep for 2 hours. Everyone was nice and she thanks them all. Her boss, Balan, says he's sorry for pointing his gun at her. As if it were the first time, Dolan walks up to her and says hello. Selena is so happy that the plan worked with the help of the gods that she tears up. Our show is over now. The next one will be out soon. To make sure you never miss a post, subscribe and click the bell button. At the start of our show, Selena is in that house where everyone is talking to her. They tell her that she should be okay here because everyone loves her. Later that night, while Dolan is sleeping, we see something strange happen to him. His body glows and a different Dolan comes out of it, almost like a ghost. It says, I haven't used my astral form since it appeared, but I'm feeling a little nervous following that. It takes off very quickly into the sky. What is this? Is it another world? We don't think so, but Dolan changes into a dragon and meets that girl in the end. Because she knows him, she greets him warmly and says, it's been a long time, my dragon friend. After that, we learn that her name is Myril. She makes fun of him and tells him she knows everything, especially about Selena, who she calls the Lamia. He thanks her for everything because she made things easier for him and changed his life when he came back as a person. While people on the earth live each day as if it were their last, and compared to higher beings, their lives might seem short. Selena opens the door and tells Dolan the promised day has come. This wakes him up. When she doesn't knock 3 times before entering, Dolan gets mad and tells her she needs to learn how to be polite. She says she's sorry and will not do it again. When she asks him what made him so happy, he says he saw an old friend in a dream. But tell me, what is this promised day you're talking about? She gets mad and says, you jerk, you said you would plant potatoes today with Christina. If she finds out you forgot, she'll be sad. Then the scene changes to a newspaper seller yelling, come closer, sir. Come on over, miss, get the most recent news. Check out what's new in the case of the missing women. We don't know what that story is about yet, though. And the scene changes to a castle. A girl bangs on a door, and strange people who look like fairies answer it. Then we see Olivia, the director, who is blonde and has green eyes. The other girl tells her she has mail and puts it on the table. It is brought to Olivia by fairies. Olivia opens it with her magic and sees that it is from Christina. She tells her how happy she is and says it's been a while since she moved to Veron Village. Because it is so far north of Gallo City, this town has to deal with bad weather and safety risks. Because of this, the locals need to train for battle. After that, Christina trains hard, and then they fight each other. Christina takes away her opponent's weapons, and he or she gives up. Everyone is happy. Christina's opponent tells her that she is very good with a sword because she lost so quickly. Christina tells her, no, dear, your sword was fast, sharp, and beautiful too, which makes the other girl's face turn pale. Then a general comes up to her and praises Kristina's skillful fight. He then extends an invitation to lunch. They were very nice to let her join them, even though they didn't know her. They make her a huge dinner at night and tell her she can eat as much as she wants because they made everything. This makes Kristina very happy. But as soon as she starts to eat, she realizes that everyone is looking at her with envy because she is so beautiful. Alan, the leader, comes up to her at that moment and offers her a drink of juice. They joke, "No, Kristina, he'll drink everything and leave you only drops and then run away from the bill, leaving you to handle it." Alan laughs and says, "Okay, I've changed my mind." He then grabs his friends and gives them a playful hug. Kristina is now in her room trying to fall asleep. Though she lies down in bed, she can't fall asleep. So she gets up and trains in the garden. That's when Dolan and Selena show up. She asks Kristina if she'd like to come over because she thinks something is wrong with her. She agrees, and the three of them go to Selena's house. Before she goes inside, Selena tells them how much she loves her home and her bed, which helps her sleep well. Kristina is shocked by this because Selena's bed looks really messy. Kristina is welcome to sleep next to Selena because she says it will keep her warm. She also tells them that she was afraid the locals wouldn't accept her as a Lamia, but the more she learned about them, the more she loved them. Sarah then tells Kristina that Balan loves the milk his wife makes and that he and the other locals have a contest to see who can drink the most at once. Kristina now knows why so many people come to see him. Selena goes on to say that Dolan's bigger brother is a good hunter who caught a big shark in the river one time. She had no idea that the river had fish that big. Dolan then tells them that every person in the village is so special. At Balan's house the next day, everyone drinks milk in a battle. When Selena and Kristina show up, everyone greets them with open arms. Kristina says yes when Balan asks her to join the contest because she wants to try the milk that Balan has been talking about. Balan's wife quickly gets some for Kristina, and Kristina loves it when she tries it. So Balan makes a bet to see who can drink more, and Kristina agrees. Kristina wins the game when it starts. They keep pushing each other and drinking a lot of milk, but it's clear that Balan is having a hard time keeping up, and Kristina wins in the end. Following this, Balan's wife asks Kristina to try something unique milk made by her daughter Mira, and she agrees because Balan was meant to be the first to try it, but he's not in the right frame of mind right now. She asks for another cup because the milk tastes sweet and smooth to her. Olivia is then seen reading a letter from Kristina. She is thrilled that Kristina has become close with the locals. As expected of Kristina, she's even made friends with the Lamia, says Kristina's friend. Then we see a big party where everyone is talking about how great Kristina is. People in Gallo are amazed that humans and monsters can be friends, and her accomplishments have become the talk of the town. Olivia hears Kieran and says, "That young Lamia is just as pretty as Kristina, please tell me more about her." Olivia asks, "What makes you interested in the Lamia? You're a witch who works for the general government." We can't underestimate the threat she poses. Even if she's by herself, Kieran replies, "People aren't meant to live with dangerous animals like Lamias." We still don't know what happened with the latest disappearances, and this is enough bad news for now. Olivia says, "These events are scary, but this Lamia is said to be kind and smart." Lord Myril, their mother, told the people to get along with her. "We must be ready for the worst," Kieran says again and again. She needs to be called to Gallo right away. At that time, Gouda walks in and says, "She's under my control. We'll start by sending a representative there." Now Dolan, Selena, and Kristina are working in the field. Selena says, "You've planted them carefully, but maybe you should space them out more evenly." When Cliff shows up, he tells them to hurry to the gates of the town. As soon as they get there, Gouda tells the knights to take their places. They are told that he is the commissioner of the northern borders. He then asks Dolan, "You brought the Lamia to this land, didn't you?" "Yes," Dolan says. "Yes, I brought her here." Sister Parames speaks up. "Lady Myril's knowledge makes us sure that she's not a bad person." "I'm not questioning Lady Myril's judgment," Gouda says, "but I am in charge of these lands and must quickly get rid of any threats. The Lamia will be checked out by the general government to make sure she's not risky." He asks, "Why are you doing this if you don't doubt Lady Myril's wisdom? If she's going to live in the village, we must follow the necessary steps according to the laws of the kingdom," Gouda says. "That's how things work in our culture. I brought Selena, so I want to go with her," Dolan says. "That will require us to take the proper precautions," Gouda says, and the two of them leave together. Because she is worried about them, Kristina chooses to talk to the director. The director has a lot of power in the general government and can use it to get in touch with them. Dolan then asks Selena, "Is this your first time riding in a carriage for this long?" "Are you in pain? Don't worry about me," she says. "We'll be fine, and the procedures won't take too long," Dolan tells her. "I'm more worried about the trouble I've caused everyone," Selena says. "Whenever you feel worried, come closer to me and you'll feel better," Dolan says. "I'll have to scold you all night long that way. I'd like to talk about the commissioner's visit to the village," Christina says when she gets to the director's office. The director tells her to sit down and says, "Selena won't be in any danger. Lady Myril has given her permission. It wasn't Commissioner Gouda who chose to bring her here. It was a more important person, a sorceress called Kiran. Kiran thinks she is dangerous and thinks she may have something to do with the disappearances." "That's not possible," Christina says. "She's been living in the village." Even though the director agrees, he says, suspicion still falls on her at the end of the episode. Selena gets to her location while being scared. This is the end of today's show. Like the video? Make sure you follow the channel and turn on the bell so you don't miss any new videos. Christina tells Lady Olivia at the beginning of our show that Selena can't do that. Olivia tells her she lives in Varan, so she can't do that. People might be wary of Corinne if she said it, though. Nicole is told by Olivia that this is the power of the general government and that Kiran has a lot of it. Christina is shocked. "Is there nothing we can do?" she asks. Olivia tells them we could be accused of going too far if we don't be careful. "I'm worried about something else, though." After the scene changes, we see Dolan and Selena standing in front of Lady Kiran. She is nice to them. "My name is Dolan, and I'm from Varan Village," Dolan says to introduce himself. "I'm here to make sure Selena is safe." Kiran tells them thanks for coming, and then they eat dinner inside. Selena is shocked by how good the food looks and thanks Kiran for making her a meal. If Selena wants to stay in Varan, Dolan says she needs to come to Galoa at some time. Karin says that if they agree, she will start working on the papers tomorrow. Selena adds, "Yes, at first I was surprised. When all those soldiers showed up out of the blue, I thought I was going to die because of them." Kiran tells her not to worry because she is so pure and pretty that she would never tell someone to kill her. Gouda walks in after Olivia and Christina come back into the scene. "Why are you here?" he is asked by Christina. "Where are Selena and Dolan?" Gouda says he needs to talk to Olivia, the director, by himself. On their second date, she tells Kair, "I've seen many Lamia in my life, but you are stunningly beautiful." Selena and Dolan fall and pass out all of a sudden. As the scene changes again, Gouda asks Olivia, "Have you heard about the recent disappearances of young women in Galoa?" Christina says she has heard stories, but she doesn't see how they have anything to do with Selena. There is a story that Galoa has a witch that is more than 300 years old. They don't live that long because they are human, Gouda adds. To Christina's question, "Do you think it's Selena?" Gouda replies, "That's the right answer. As you'd expect from the Academy's best student," he adds, "It is said that the witch used magic that wasn't allowed to take over the body of a young woman and has been living there ever since. Lamia is now interesting to this witch. Time is running out, so we need to get there right away. I'll tell you the rest on the way." Olivia comes in and tells Christina that she doesn't need to be there. Aaron stands over Selena and says, "It's been a long time since I caught a live Lamia. You will soon be mine. I need to skin her first," she says as she pulls out a knife. "After that, I'll choose what to do next." Dolan wakes up and tells Kiran to stay away from Selena as she walks up to her with the knife. "Did I get Dolan's sedative dose wrong?" Kiran asks in shock. Dolan says, "The magic circle on the floor smells like blood. You must do this all the time. How many people have you killed?" "It was the skin of a glom snake that Kiran used to make the chains." Then she throws the knife at Dolan, but he gets out of the way. Dolan asks again, "How many have you killed? And why did you kill them? I've lost track of how many bodies there are now." Kiran says, "Everyone has something beautiful that I kept for myself while I studied. I look so beautiful because of it." When asked, Dolan says, "This magic is not allowed. Have you agreed to work with a demon?" Kiran wants to kill Selena because she got her arms and legs from a spider woman and a half-human. She adds, "I will use every part of her and not waste anything." "Did you do all those crimes and trick everyone just like you tricked me?" Selena asks Kiran as she wakes up. "They asked for your help, but you said no. That is a really bad thing to do. There was truth in what Commissioner Gouda said about you." And Kiran is shocked that she brought up Gouda. Dolan says, "The Andals are different because they talk all the time." Then both of them take something small out of their ears. This is a special item that sends sound, so Gouda can hear everything Kurin does wrong. A big bang makes Christina, Olivia, Gouda, and the guards run inside. She goes up to Dolan and asks if everything is okay. They were used as bait to catch Kurin, which she can't believe. Olivia tells them she's sorry for putting them in such a nasty spot. Guardians of Gouda arrest Kurin, and Olivia tells her, "I think you were planning to blame Selena for the disappearances after she fought. You would have told her you had to kill her. You could have done anything with her body after that. That's what your plan was all about, right? Do you treat me with such disrespect?" Kyron asks back in anger. She told them, "Don't talk to me that way, you look great, so you'll never know what it's like to get old. Do you know how much I've been through to become this beautiful?" She asks with red eyes. "I found many things in the world interesting when I was younger, but I quickly learned that I wasn't a part of them. I was bad all the time." She then talks about how she used to follow a girl around, kill her, and then do the same thing to another girl. After she killed everyone and cast spells on them, her form finally changed into what it is now. Kurin tells them she will show them the results of her study from 300 years ago now that we are in the present. Then she turns into a huge monster and tells them to give the Lamia back to her. She starts to fight very hard, using the bodies of many different animals together. She is stronger now that she has dark magic from making a deal with a monster. Her cruel attack on the troops was meant to get what she wanted, even though it cost many lives. But Selena's evil eyes stop Kurin in her tracks, and Olivia tells the guys to leave. Kurin tries to hurt Selena, but Christina charges at her and cuts off her fingers. Then, she cuts Kurin's body parts off. Kurin is screaming in pain because Christina cut off her leg. She is so furious that she decides to attack Christina with all her might. Dolan then steps in and uses dark magic to try to kill Kurin. Olivia steps in and tells them they need to act right away or everyone will be buried alive. Gouda is telling him that the spell he's making is very dangerous. Chris and Selena are told by Dolan that he will take care of things from now on. His magic circle gets stronger, and he gets ready to attack and cast a shield spell at the same time. Dolan then asks Kurin if she's pleased with what she's doing. He gets mad when Kurin tells him not to look at her that way. She says that people will soon bow down to her beauty because her magic is stronger than theirs. Dolan says hands that are stained with blood will never be truly beautiful. The people whose bodies you've taken had hopes and dreams for the future. You were never supposed to eat them. After that, he quickly gets rid of Kurin with his magic. And the next day, we see Selena sitting with Dolan while he teaches her. She's tired, so Dolan lets her take a break. "I think my head is going to blow up," Selena says. "It's very scary to learn this." Dolan tells her to wait and learn the language of this place so she can say what she wants to say. But he can't wait to see what she writes. She says these things happened to her because of her cursed eyes, and Dolan is stuck in the castle with her. Right then, Christina comes in and asks Selena if she's made any progress. Dolan tells him that she is starting to read a little. Soon after, Director Olivia and Commissioner Gouda show up, and everyone is shocked at how early they are. They're sorry they put them in such a dangerous spot. When they were asked to be bait for the investigation, Dolan was shocked. But Gouda tells them they are safe because Dolan's teacher gave them a medicine that stopped Kurin's tranquilizer right away. They were told that the general government felt bad about letting its witch do such bad things. Then Gouda gave them a piece of paper that was Galoa's permission. Selena hears, "The first is your Galo permit and the second is your registration, which means you can live in Veron without any problems. We've known you're good for a long time. We're sorry it took so long." She tells Dolan that things are different from the first time they met because she is so happy. After Olivia tells them that someone is waiting for them, they see Denzel walking toward them. "It's been a while. I thought you wouldn't be in Galoa. I learned everything about what you did from the director." As they leave, they say, "Since you're here, why don't we take a tour of the city?" Denzel shows them the main street, which is where everything is. People are scared of Selena, and moms don't let their kids hang out with her. A lot of people around her are scared too. After that, they get ready to leave for home. Selena tells Dolan to get gifts for the people in the area. Dolan thanks everyone who helped afterward. They hear an old man say, "I should have said that thanks a lot for your help." He then tells Dolan that he has already talked to the director and wants him to join them at the school. "Your special power is really cool. Don't throw it away, it's good." "Hi, Dolan. Thanks for the offer." But he's already very busy with his own issues and the issues in the village. Olivia says, "I think you should learn more at the academy if you want to use your power to help people," Denzel says. Leaving the village you love might be one way to protect it. Dolan has time to think as they leave. After that, Christina asks Dolan if he's still thinking about what the director said as they ride in a carriage. "I can't deny that I'm interested in the Magic Academy," he says. "But I still feel like I have a lot to do in the village. See, Galoa helped me understand how small, far away, and empty Varen is." He then asks Christina what she thinks. She adds, "Varen doesn't teach you much, but the academy will give you experiences you won't find there." And Dolan nods his head. He agrees with Denzel that it might be a good idea to join the school. The scene changes to a path through which many monsters appear. A scared little boy sees this. The show for today is over. Keep an eye out for more shows. If you like this video, please click the bell button and subscribe to see all of my new movies. Our episode today begins with a monster being fought by a man who delivers a powerful strike. But sadly, when his friend arrives, he finds the man has already passed away. In the end, many lives are lost to these creatures, marking a great tragedy. After the battle, two people arrive, questioning how this happened. They find the man breathing his last and ask him what happened. He informs them that there is a horde of monsters before dying from his injuries. The scene then shifts to Christina, who is training someone in sword fighting. We also see Dolan training a young boy, giving him important instructions, while Selena watches in awe. She recalls the past when the academy director asked Dolan if he wanted to join the academy, suggesting that if he wanted to protect his beloved village, he must take the path to protect it. Back to the present, Selena wonders if Dolan will one day leave her behind. At that moment, mischievous children come and sit on her tail, making Selena part of the village, where everyone grows accustomed to her presence. Christina then approaches Dolan, expressing her wish to walk through and explore the forest. Dolan warns her that the forest is very dangerous, but she insists, wanting to test her strength against the creatures there. The scene shifts again to the group as they walk through the forest, having brought their equipment and weapons. Recently, the forest has seen very powerful monsters, so they must remain vigilant. The forest air feels refreshing, pure, unpolluted by foolish humans or their emissions. Animals are grazing, and the captain advises them to ask for anything they need but to stay cautious. He and his soldiers move through the forest, noting that it is a place rarely traversed by people, so they must stay alert. In that moment, a boar runs off behind the trees. A soldier chases after it, only to be shocked as the boar suddenly flies up, its body torn apart, revealing a massive tiger. Just as the tiger is about to attack, Balan arrives in time, delivering a heavy blow to the tiger's head with his hammer. But he scolds the soldier for being unprepared, then leaves. Suddenly, the strange creature from the beginning of the episode appears and attacks them. Episode question: what is the nature or origin of these creatures? Here are the options. 1. Artificial creatures created by humans. 2. Aliens. 3. Beings from beneath the earth. 4. Demons from the realm of Jinn. Please pause the video and leave a comment. Returning to the episode, Dolan and his companions hear the captain shouting, and they rush toward him. Upon arrival, they find him and his soldiers on the ground. The captain urgently tells them to flee because the creature is extremely dangerous. However, Dolan steps forward, charging up an energy projectile, which he then fires at the creature. Dolan explains that these are low-ranking demons. Despite their rank, they're still very powerful. Christina asks how he knows this, and he tells her he read about them in a book. Dolan fires a stronger energy shot to immobilize the creature completely, allowing Christina to dash in and slice it in half. Dolan advises her not to tell the villagers about the demon. Later that night, everyone gathers, waiting for Captain Balan, who is seriously injured. At that moment, the village elder enters, reassuring them that Balan is in good hands, as Meguro and Miyu are caring for him. Christina speaks with the elder, asking if such creatures appear often in the area. He replies, "This is the first time I've heard of anything like this." He mentions that Captain Balan, the commander of the village's defense, is the strongest soldier in the region. Dolan begins to suspect something strange is happening in the forest. Then Meguro enters, announcing that Balan has awakened. She adds that his wounds weren't just from a blade-wielding tiger, but from something much sharper, indicating these injuries couldn't have been caused by a typical animal. Dolan grows more uneasy, sensing something unusual might be lurking in the forest. If that's the case, he decides to investigate, but Meguro advises they must adapt to it, as living on the border means coexisting with nature's risks. Dolan replies that challenging nature is also a human trait. Dolan requests to inspect the forest, and Meguro agrees on the condition that he doesn't go alone. Christina volunteers, but the elder refuses, worried about her safety, as they promised Commissioner Gouda to protect her. Selena then steps up, offering to accompany Dolan. She reminds everyone of her cursed eyes, which allow her to use magic. Dolan agrees, telling everyone to leave the matter to him and Selena since it's their village and they'll handle it. The elder thanks them, urging them to prioritize their safety above all else and to promise to return safely. Dolan vows they will. And next morning, Dolan and Selena head into the forest together. Dolan mentions it's been a long time since they've been alone together, and Selena reassures him she'll do her best not to slow him down, and that she has her cursed eyes if needed. As they approach the forest, a sense of something unusual fills the air. Suddenly, Christina appears, greeting them and claiming it's a nice coincidence, as she was just taking a walk in the forest. Dolan, skeptical, reminds her that the elder forbade her from leaving the village. But Christina counters, saying she overheard him mention that they'd handle the village's issues on their own. She adds that she's come to care deeply for the village and can't bear to sit back without helping. Dolan and Selena realize that Christina's desire to help aligns with their own sentiments, so they agree to let her join. Christina suggests they tell the elder that their meeting was a coincidence and that they simply ended up heading in the same direction. Then we see Dolan killing a giant spider with help from Selena and Christina. Soon after, they encounter another creature, a large ape. Selena offers it a piece of fruit, and the ape apologizes for scaring them earlier and gratefully takes the fruit. Christina is shocked, having never seen such a tame creature before. She asks Dolan if this is normal, but he doesn't get a chance to answer, as the smaller creatures start to play with him, having quickly warmed up to him despite their initial fear. And they all sit down to eat together, and Christina asks Selena if she isn't afraid of the monsters. Selena responds, saying, "I'm a monster too." Selena then asks Dolan about the bread made by Mio, to which he replies that it's Mio's latest creation and very delicious. Selena requests to have some, then takes it over to Christina and offers it to the small ape, saying, "They were just hungry, that's likely why they attacked us." Dolan adds that the creatures are indeed strong yet have been driven out of their feeding grounds. Those giant spotted spiders may have had the same problem. "The forest is changing," he says thoughtfully. Christina responds, "We can't ignore this situation." As they eat, Christina enjoys the food immensely. Dolan tells her that his mother baked it using the village's wheat and that his father taught him how to dry and prepare the meat. Christina compliments the meal and Selena remarks on how beautiful Christina looks despite only eating. Dolan agrees, saying she has a captivating charm, as if she's come right out of a classic painting. Embarrassed, Christina tells them to stop teasing her. Selena then jokes that she could use Christina's help to strengthen her enchantment spell, hoping it will help her find a husband. Dolan tells Selena she doesn't need a spell, she's lovely just as she is. Selena is overjoyed by Dolan's words, wondering if he might want to marry her someday, though she's unsure if he has any real feelings for her. Suddenly they sense something nearby. A magical crystal ball appears before them, and inside it a fairy warns them to flee. A demon then appears and Dolan tells Selena to lead the animals to safety. Dolan attacks the demon, but it dodges his strikes and Christina joins in, eventually killing it. However, more demons emerge and they fight them one by one. Then a demon attacks Dolan from above while another closes in on him. Dolan slashes at one and his hands transform into dragon claws, helping him finish it off. Selena then saves Christina from a demon attacking from behind, and Christina thanks her. Selena replies, "You would have been fine even without my help." Dolan adds that humility is part of what makes you so beautiful. Afterward, they speak with the fairy, who thanks them for their help and asks if they are humans. They introduce themselves, and the fairy, named Marl, tells them that a demon soldier had been chasing her. Dolan remarks that these demons are likely scouts, suggesting stronger demons may soon follow. Christina asks Marl to tell them more, saying they came to investigate. Marl replies, "We've been facing many troubles, so I appreciate your help." Dolan observes that the demons regard them cautiously rather than with hostility. Suddenly, a man appears from the depths of the forest, calling Marl over. He looks at Dolan with a look of surprise, and the episode ends there. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss future updates.